Hello and welcome to this episode on Fireside Grace's Family Channel. Today we are going to be talking about the different types of teas. So I get asked a lot, what are the different types of teas? You mentioned oolongs, pu'ers, tisanes, these herbal drinks, just different types of tea. What are they? What's the difference? What's the caffeine level per tea? So I'm going to go in order of caffeine level for you to begin with, and then I'll break down each one just a little bit. And then in future videos, I will go herbal benefits, types, where can I find them, green benefits, types, etc. In different videos. But for now, I'm going to just hit the highlights and give you a caffeine level chart. So in order from least amount of caffeine to most amount of caffeine, you have herbals, which herbal is not really a type of tea. Herbal, because it doesn't come from the plant Camellia sinensis, which is what all teas derive from. So this is anything like bark, flowers, anything that's non-tea that is edible, you can put together to make an herbal arrangement. Hibiscus is rose hips, blueberries, things like that. Barks are oak bark. I love oak bark. Those things are commonly used in herbal teas. Cactus pear, which I'll show you in a minute. Herbals are non-caffeinated. Okay, so then we have white teas, which just contain a little tiny bit of caffeine. White teas are teas that are not oxidized. And I will go over oxidation in another video as well. So teas that are not oxidized are white teas, meaning there's no heat applied. So they are just picked from the leaf and then dried and stored immediately, dried as soon as possible. So basically they're very minimally processed. Drying is considered a form of processing, but think about it. All you're doing is letting it dry. It's not really processing, especially if it's not overheat. Okay. So you have herbal teas, white teas, and then you have green teas in the caffeine level. So herbal, white, green. Green provides more. I'll go over more about a green tea in a minute. Then you have purple teas. Then a lot of people don't know you also have yellow teas. It's kind of rare. Then you have black teas. I'm sorry, yellow teas, then oolong, then black, then pu'ers. So you have herbal, white, green, purple, yellow, oolong, black, and pu'er. I do actually have these memorized because I am a tea snob again, and I love these. Okay. If you're from Oklahoma, it's a tea snob. If you're from New York, it's a tea snab. So choose your snobs. Okay. So again, herbal is really not tea because it's not formed from the plant that teas are formed, the Camellia sinensis plant. It is made of non-tea plants that are edible. White teas, quickly dried, after they're picked, not oxidized, they're minimally processed, they're very delicate, and it depends, the type of flavor that you get depends on the season in which you harvest a white tea, the soil it's grown in, and what part of the country it's from. Those are obviously things that affect every tea. They're harvested young, so they know that it's going to be a white tea if it has the white hairs still on the leaves. So if you pick up a white tea, it's still white, and it has these little, almost like a fur to it, but that's just the white hairs that show that that plant is still really young. So it's picked when it's young, and that's the type of tea that makes white tea. Green tea is the next on the caffeine list. Obviously, it was originated in China. And green teas are heated, but they're barely oxidized. So they just get a real hot heat and then taken off really quickly to be dried. They can have a toasty flavor, a vegetable-like flavor, a grassy flavor, or like that fragrance flavor, like a jasmine. And then we have purple teas. Purple teas are the newest teas to me out of all of them. And I love purple tea. I actually have some in the fridge already made. I like a watermelon mint one and then just purple itself. So purple tea is actually derived in Kenya. and they have less caffeine than an oolong, but more than a green. And they're said to actually have better health benefits than both green and white teas. So it'd be interesting for me to do a video for that on you. That's actual purple leaf that is only found in Kenya right now. There is a yellow tea that's next on the caffeine list. So just to give you an example of where we're at, 8 ounces of a yellow tea is about 63 milligrams of caffeine, give or take, depending on how many leaves you use to steep it with, obviously. This is originated in China also, and that's also a very rare tea. It's very hard to find a good yellow tea. So if you find it, definitely grab it and try it. Oolongs are partially oxidized like green teas. So they are, put over that fire and heated up, or burner or whatever, and heated up to a very high temperature and then taken off, but they're left a little longer than a green tea. It's actually, oolongs are considered an art. They all are, but oolongs especially can be revered just because oolongs are a very hard practice to get down correctly, because you can mess up an oolong very easily, or you can under oxidize it. So you can over or under oxidize it very quickly. But oolongs, if done right, they have a wide range of flavors. You can go sweet, you can go almost even savory, which of course is what we're getting to next. You can go leafy to floral or nutty, to sweet with an oolong. So it's got a lot of varieties of ways that you can go. Black teas are obviously very oxidized. They're strong, they're bold, they're rich. These are the teas I like to add milk to. Now, there are different styles of brewing teas. You've got Western style and Eastern style brewing teas, completely different taste in the outcome. So we can do a video on that one day too, if you request it and you're interested in that. But these are teas like our Earl Greys. Like I've talked about the French caramel brulee, chocolate, dark chocolate ones, chocolate pecan swirl, cinnamon roll. All your different like really savory flavors come from black teas. Typically they have a lot of caffeine in them, still a lot less than coffee. Pu'ers, these are very they're much more rare teas. I could go into a whole thing about pu'ers because I have a particular love for them. They are fermented. They go through the fermenting process for anywhere between 20 and 50 years. So I don't drink anything of a pu'er that's not fermented for less than 50 years. So dark chocolate pu'ers, lime, there's different pu'ers that you can get. My favorite is a dark chocolate one from the Cultured Cup. Pu'ers are very special. They're very almost like a fine wine that has aged over time, is kind of what you can expect from a pu'er type of tea. I hope this helps you. And remember, from least caffeine to most caffeine: herbal, white, green, purple, yellow, oolong, black, pu'er. I hope this helps in your understanding of the different caffeine levels of tea. And I'll bring you more on the benefits of each of the categories of tea. Bless you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.